Most men over 45 have had this moment. You put on a pair of pants you've worn 100 times, glance in the mirror, and something just feels off. The midsection looks a little more prominent than you'd like. The legs read shorter somehow. The whole thing feels heavier than it should. And almost every guy's first thought is it must be the body. But here's what I've found. Most of the time, it's not the body, it's the pants. In this video, we're going to break down which pant styles actually work for men over 45, especially if your build has shifted a bit over the years. We'll cover why the rise is the most overlooked detail in men's pants, which cuts work with your proportions instead of fighting them, and a few specific things worth paying attention to next time you're shopping. Nothing complicated, just practical stuff that holds up in real life. Before we get into what works, let's talk about what usually doesn't. These 4 patterns come up constantly, and honestly, most of us have been there at some point. Still wearing low-rise pants the same way they worked at 30, the waistband ends up sitting right at the widest part of the midsection. The belly pushes out over the top, the shirt never quite sits right, and the whole silhouette gets thrown off. Going slim fit to look more current. The thinking makes sense, slim reads modern. But when slim fit is pulling across the thighs or pressing into the stomach, it does the opposite of what you want. Instead of a clean look, you get a look that draws attention exactly where you don't want it. Going baggy to cover things up, this one's understandable too, but it tends to backfire. Loose, shapeless pants don't actually minimize the belly, they just make the entire lower half look heavy and undefined. Choosing fabric that's too soft or too thin. Lightweight, unstructured fabric clings and wrinkles. It doesn't hold a line. And a clean, straight line from waist to hem is really what you're going for here. The through line in all of this, it's not about finding bigger pants, it's about finding the right pants. If any of these ring a bell, drop a comment. You're definitely not alone in this. Okay, so let's get into the detail that makes the biggest difference, and also the one most guys never think about. The rise. The rise is the distance from the crotch seam up to the top of the waistband. It determines where the pants actually sit on your body. And that placement affects everything else: how your shirt falls, how long your legs look, how the whole outfit holds together. Low-rise pants land right at the widest part of the midsection. The waistband works against you from the start. The belly has nowhere to go but over the top. Your shirt bunches and pulls. And because the visual starting point of the leg is lower, your legs end up looking shorter than they actually are. Mid-rise pants sit closer to your natural waist, the part of your torso that's naturally a little narrower. From there, a few things just work better on their own. The midsection stays contained. Your shirt lies flat whether you tuck it or not. Your legs have a longer visual line. And if you're sitting down for most of the day, you're not constantly readjusting. The shift sounds subtle when you describe it. When you see it, it's not subtle at all. For most men over 45, especially if the midsection has filled out a bit over the years, mid-rise is almost always the more comfortable and more flattering choice. It's not a style compromise. It's just pants that fit the body you actually have right now. Now let's talk about the cut itself, the actual shape of the leg from hip to hem. There are 3 worth understanding. Straight fit. This is the most reliable option for men over 45. The leg drops straight from the thigh without tapering in or flaring out. No pulling across the thighs, no fabric stress at the seat. What you get is a clean vertical line, and that line is what creates the impression of a leaner, more proportional silhouette. Straight fit looks solid whether you're 45 or 65, whether you've been hitting the gym or not. It just works. Slim fit. It can work, but the conditions matter a lot. If the fit is genuinely close without being tight, comfortable through the seat and thighs, no fabric pulling, it can look sharp. The problem is that most slim fit pants sold today run tighter than they should. When slim fit starts straining across the thighs or pressing into the stomach, you end up drawing the eye directly to the midsection. That's the opposite of the goal. If you like slim fit, try it on and move around. Sit down. If it's working, you'll know. If it's not, it's not. Relaxed fit. A good option if your thighs are fuller or you just want more room to move. The thing to watch for is proportional fabric, slightly more room through the seat and thigh without excess fabric pooling everywhere. A lightly relaxed fit with some structure and a clean leg line looks confident. A fully unstructured, overly baggy fit doesn't do anyone any favors. For everyday wear, straight fit is the most dependable starting point. If you want more room, a lightly relaxed fit is the better move over forcing a slim fit that doesn't quite work. Which fit have you been defaulting to? Curious to hear what's been working or not in the comments. Let's take a step back and talk about why all of this actually works, because the logic is worth understanding. When the waistband sits at your natural waist, it sets the visual starting point of the leg higher. That single change makes the legs read longer and the torso read more balanced. Your shirt, whether it's tucked or not, lies flat across the waistband without bunching. The upper half of the outfit suddenly looks cleaner, and clean reads as leaner. Here's the thing about how people actually perceive clothing. Nobody's breaking down individual pieces when they look at you. They're reading proportion. They're taking in the overall shape, shoulder to waist, to hip, to leg. When that shape feels balanced, the eye just moves through it naturally. When something's off, the eye stops right at that point. Getting the rise right redirects that entirely. Instead of attention landing on the midsection, the whole silhouette reads as structured and pulled together. The right rise can make your body look more balanced without anything else changing. That's not a trick. It's just how proportion works. Once the rise and fit are right, a few smaller details carry a surprising amount of weight. A clean front panel, flat front or minimal pleating, no cargo pockets, no bulky detailing. The front of the pants should be as simple and uncluttered as possible. Anything that adds visual mass right across the stomach works against you. Fabric with some structure. Mid-weight cotton twill structured denim. These fabrics hold their shape and hang away from the body instead of clinging to it. That space between the fabric and your body matters more than most guys realize. Fabric that drapes and clings removes all the advantages of a good fit. Color and wash. Darker tones, navy, charcoal, dark, olive, dark wash. Denim create a cleaner, more unified silhouette. They absorb light instead of catching it. Lighter colors and busy patterns tend to highlight exactly what you're trying to downplay. This doesn't mean wearing all black, it just means darker, more neutral tones tend to be a safer default. Length. Aim for a clean break right at the top of the shoe or a very slight stack. Too much extra length creates bunching at the ankle, which visually shortens the leg. Getting pants hemmed properly is one of the most cost-effective style improvements there is. Belt and buckle. A slim classic leather belt matching your shoes. A wide belt with a large buckle pulls visual attention right to the waistline, which is the one place you're trying to keep clean and understated. What actually makes you look leaner is a structured fabric, the right rise, and a straight, clean line from waist to hem, not a looser pair of pants. Let's make this concrete. 3 types of pants that hold up consistently well for men over 45. Mid-rise straight chinos, the most flexible everyday option in the lineup. Navy charcoal stone, dark olive, any of those work. The mid-rise waist and straight leg combination handles most situations, the office at dinner out, running errands, meeting friends for coffee. They're dressed enough to look intentional, casual enough that you're not overthinking it. Pair with a polo, a fitted button-down, or a simple knit, and you've got a solid outfit with almost no effort. Dark, wash, straight jeans. Not light wash, not distressed. A clean, dark indigo or dark wash denim straight fit mid-rise. Dark denim has this quality of looking put together without feeling formal, which is exactly the balance most guys over 45 are actually after. It works with polos, knitwear, casual shirts, loafers, boots, clean leather sneakers. Versatile in a quiet way. Once you have a pair that fits right, you'll reach for them constantly. Lightly tapered pants, not slim. If you want a slightly more modern silhouette without going into slim fit territory, a light taper is the move. The taper should start around the knee and narrow gently toward the hem, just enough to refine the line without adding any tightness through the thigh or calf. The result is a little cleaner than a pure straight cut, with none of the fit issues that come with full slim. Which of these 3 do you think would work best in your day-to-day? I'm genuinely curious. Drop it in the comments. Here are 3 complete outfits, each one straightforward. Each one works in real life. Formula 1. Mid-rise dark chinos. A well-fitted polo brown loafers. It's clean without being stiff. You look like someone who paid attention without making a production of it. That reads well in almost any casual setting, coffee errands, a relaxed dinner out. Formula 2. Straight dark jeans, a Henley or knit polo boots or chukkas. Solid for weekends or anything after work. It's masculine and proportional without being overdressed. The dark jeans and boots pairing in particular is one of those combinations that just consistently holds up for men in their 40s and 50s. Formula 3. Straight navy or charcoal chinos, a casual button-down, a light jacket, or blazer. This one works when you need to look a bit more put together, a work meeting, a lunch, anything where the context calls for a little more care. The jacket over a relaxed shirt with well-fitted chinos is a reliable combination that ages very well. The common thread across all three: keep the visual line from shoulder to foot clean and uncluttered. Don't let the outfit get heavy or busy in the middle. When the pants are right, that balance tends to fall into place on its own. So let's bring it home. Low rise works against you at this stage, skip it. Mid-rise is more comfortable, more flattering, and creates better proportions for most men over 45. Straight fit is your most dependable, everyday cut. If you need more room, a light, relaxed fit. If you want something more refined, a gentle taper, not a full slim. Avoid extremes in either direction. Structure in your fabric matters more than most people give it credit for. Darker, more neutral tones tend to be your friend. And getting the length right is one of the cheapest improvements you can make. Here's the bigger point I want to leave you with. Looking sharp after 45 isn't about chasing a younger look. It's about dressing in a way that works with your actual body, proportional, clean, confident. And a lot of the time, the single biggest change you can make has nothing to do with your shirt or your shoes. It's the pants you put on every morning. If this was useful, a like goes a long way. It helps. YouTube put this in front of more guys who could use it. And if you want straightforward, practical style content for men over 45, no gimmicks, nothing that requires a personal stylist, subscribe and stick around. I put out something new every week. See you in the next one.